This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
How are ya? Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Your face is lit up.
I blurred my background because it's a bit of a mess in here.
Oh, no worries. You were just frozen for like a half a second there. So, but let us know if you can't hear us or see us. I am pleased that we got 3 of us here in the in the bodies here in town hall, and then we've got you on go to meeting. So I'll keep my eyes open. I don't know if David is going to join us or not, but let me just say officially, let me just open up the meeting. Today is October 2nd, 2025. It's 1 p.m. Like I said, 3 of us are here in the select board meeting room at town hall. Emily is on go to meeting. So this is an official meeting of the Opioid Settlement Funds Advisory Committee. It is not on our typical Monday because we have an application that we want to address. And in order to do that, application for funding from Honest Beginnings, I'm just going to make a note to myself that we do have the minimum of 4 voting members that we need. And Gail and Neil. So we can proceed with our business. So just to confirm that. At the application?
Or any of it?
Yeah, take a look.
Okay.
There's an application from Honest Beginnings. Yeah, take your time looking at it. Hopefully others have had a chance maybe to think about it. That's right, Neil, at our last meeting, end of September, last time, Jill handed them out. And, we said, given, I guess I would say this in terms of context, we're having this special meeting now kind of quickly after our late September meeting because the basis of the project is to fix a driveway, which in the ideal world is going to happen before winter sets in. So Jill suggested and the committee agreed that, a quick special meeting with enough of us voting members, we could deal with just this in order to maybe expedite the project. Obviously, we still have the step of going in front of the select board. So depending on the outcome of this meeting today, my goal would be to get us on the select board agenda as quickly as possible in order to present to them, especially if this group is supportive of the request and we want to make that case to the select board because of the time constraints and the fact that doing that kind of repair is better done before winter sets in. So let me just stop and back up for a quick second. If anybody had questions or comments or anything that jumped out at you or anything with respect to the proposal. The proposal is from Honest Beginnings, and then Neil, you'll see there's an estimate from a company that they talked to that looks like they know what they're doing when it comes to driveway repair. So.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, by all means, yeah, ask your question.
Because we are a town entity of sort, per se, do we have to get 3 bids on it?
That is a really good question, and I have to say, I hadn't thought about that at our prior meeting. I know that we haven't necessarily done that before, but we haven't necessarily had that kind of application.
Because Nick's always said, I can do work at the place, I just need the material, so.
Right.
I mean, that's, but it's like, I don't
It's a good question. Let me just make a note, and I guess the question then might be.
I did see though that from the estimate though, like,
Yep.
I'm familiar with that location.
Yep.
And washout could be one thing, and I see that that's been addressed in that quote too, so.
Good. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about, in terms of just the dollar figure? Does that seem
very
reasonable?
appropriate for what's there.
What's there? Okay, good.
And,
Yep, good, okay. I was kind of thinking that, anytime, and rightfully so, anytime we go in front of the select board with any kind of thing we've supported and we want them to vote in favor of, they rightfully so have questions. Does this seem like the right amount of money that, you know,
I've
that
never
you're
done a driveway,
requesting.
but
I know, me
seem-
neither.
It doesn't seem like it's overly inflated. from
Right.
what
It's
I'm
not.
seeing.
It's not.
It's
Okay,
close
good.
to this.
Okay.
Because
Good.
I've been kind of looking at it for my new home I just got.
I know, I was gonna
My
say,
new home I just got in Belchertown.
for
Congratulations.
even just our personal, it's funny you say that, Chris, because we had much less work done on our driveway, and I asked my spouse before coming over here, what did we pay? And I'm like, okay, that sounds reasonable, given what I know of what
Mhm.
their location is like. So, okay, good. So we're in agreement. Emily, did you have any thoughts at all about the actual cost or the estimate or anything that Honest Beginnings kind of laid out in terms of, you know, why they want it, what the benefit will be, you know, what the outcome will be? Obviously, if it's done, it's done, and it's observable that the work got done. I thought they made a decent case for why investing that
sure.
money would be worth it.
And not only that, but I mean, I'm not sure how many vehicles that are attached to that program, but, you know, if you've got 3, 4 cars parked in the driveway and you can barely get out of there because it's all cracked and falling apart, and in the winter, and you're going to your work, and, you know, you can't even get down the driveway because of it.
Right, exactly. I was thinking about both for, you know, thinking about the staff, thinking about the program participants, thinking about deliveries that they must get, where people are bringing, you know, various, whatever, that, you know, when you've got a number of people residing in that facility, just a fair amount of traffic and a fair amount of wear and tear. And then, as they said and made the point of, you know, wanting to also be really good neighbors. Other thoughts or questions about it? No? All right, I'm trying to think of if there is a way. Well, let me just ask this. Is there a feeling of general supportiveness toward this? Yep, I see nodding heads here. Emily's nodding. I would agree. So it sounds like, you know, in a general way, all 4 of us are supportive of the proposal. We think it's worthy of funding and would like to bring it to the select board. In reference to the question about the 3 bids, what I'm trying to think of in my head is, can we frame a motion that we can vote on today, because we've got 4 of us here, with maybe a caveat that if 3 bids are needed, we'd have to get that from Honest Beginnings, but that's still, in general, we are supportive of that repair.
I would suggest a motion that if we do have to get bids and that they come, I think that possibly Nick chose this company because he has knowledge of them.
Okay, yeah,
I can't assume to know what he knows,
right.
but I would think that him knowing a little bit about that kind of business, he would
Right,
know
right,
somebody to reach out to.
right. That he'd probably trust, hopefully.
And probably somebody that would be most reasonable.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I would, you know, on good faith say, I trust his
Yep.
instinct on this, in
Okay,
that
good.
if we do have to get 2 more estimates, I don't know if one comes in higher or lower, what we would do,
Right,
but if
right,
my gut's saying if Nick reached out to this company,
right.
it's
That
for good
that's the
reason.
company,
And
right.
I don't know what to say from that,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of
Okay.
leaning, if he's done the work.
It's just to see if it's required by our
Right.
town,
Right,
you
by
know,
our
and I
town,
agree
right.
with you wholeheartedly on that, 100%. And then just maybe putting that little caveat in, that is, if it's a requirement, then they'll have to move forward to do that.
To
But
do that, and hopefully could do that. And that-
So how does bidding work though, if one comes in higher, one comes in lower?
I know, it's a really good question. We haven't, as a committee, like I said, we haven't encountered it,
I don't.
and I don't know. Cause this is a specific pot of money for specific purposes that is not open to sort of like, you know, a wider array of projects, but it is a really good question. And particularly, you know, most communities, at least my experience with Ware, if anything was over that sort of $10,000 range, you know, you had to, so it is a really good question, given that, again, our committee just to remind ourselves, we funded the prevention work with drug-free, adding on hours. We funded the middle school's after-school program. What we're funding now with Honest Beginnings is those enrollment fees, and a number of people have taken advantage of that. But this is like the first time a facility type thing with, the need for an outside bid.
Instead of like, kind of just like personnel and service, now we're talking about actually a product.
Right, exactly, and a whole different kind of work. And some of what we've already funded, from my perspective, is activities that only the people and groups we funded can do. Whereas, like you said, there's multiple companies that probably could do a driveway repair, and then that's sometimes where the bidding has to come in. So I guess what I'm thinking too, Emily, I was just wondering if you've encountered anything in any of your towns where opioid money was talked about for a facility thing?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I suggest we do. Let's do, and obviously the meeting's being recorded. I'll take some notes. I can follow up with the town manager just to be safe. But how about 2 separate motions? One that pretty much says we are in support of Honest Beginnings application with their estimate based on the justification. So that could be one motion. And then the second motion is, if there's a need for the 3 bids, we will, I can certainly do it, or actually I want to keep Jill and Angela out of it because they're on the board, but I could do it. A second motion that we vote on that says we will follow up with them and try to get 2 more bids. And then I think, Neil, as you're saying, we still get ready to go in front of the select board and maybe also have a conversation with Nick about that particular vendor that they attach the estimate to, just to see if that's someone they prefer and want to and have experience working with.
So I remember the first one we just said, so I'm gonna make a motion
Go for it.
for both the safety and the increase in productivity and to reduce liability for Honest Beginnings. I propose that we support this application for replacement and repair of their driveway.
Great. Do I have a second?
I second that
All
motion.
right, I've got Chris seconded. I'll make a note of that. Any further questions or anything before we do a vote? No? All right. Thank you, Neil. That was a great motion. So we've got a motion for all of those good reasons to support their application. Chris seconded. I'll go just one by one. Say your vote, yay or nay.
Yay.
Yay for me.
Yay.
Oh, yay. All right. So we got 4 in favor, unanimous. Great. Excellent. All right. So how about if anybody wants to make a motion about just double checking on the issue about additional bids?
Would you like to do?
I make a motion to approve the funding for the reconstruction of the driveway to reduce liability, increase services for Honest Beginnings, with an addendum or a caveat of having 2 more proposals.
Okay. All right. So we move to approve
If so
that.
required.
If so required,
If
right,
so
there you
required.
go, beautiful, I like that, okay.
Sorry to add to.
No, that's good, because if they're not, if we don't
have
have to, then we're
Exactly.
good. The motion we just voted on covers it all. All right, so Chris moved to do that, to, do what we want to do, improve and support the request. And if 2 more bids are required, we'll follow up on that. All right, so I got a motion, second?
I'll second.
I got Neil seconding that. All in favor of that?
Yay.
Aye, and Emily is a yes. All right, let's just make a note here for the seconded. All right, 4 in favor. All right, so then great. I think those motions express our sentiment about the application and all of that, and then we'll check up on the 3 bids issue. And I will volunteer to just check in with Steve Williams. He should be able to let me know, let Honest Beginnings know if they do have to go after and submit 2 more bids. Hopefully, if not, that is the easiest scenario. And then we try to get on the agenda as quickly as we can in front of the select board.
Wonderful.
All right.
Excellent. Just a reminder that our next full committee meeting, we're in the month of October now, is that Monday, October 27th. Last Monday of the month, 10 o'clock, like we have been meeting. So that's our full committee meeting. I will send out an email. I wanted this meeting to sort of happen and be done. Neil, just so that you know, at the last meeting, we talked with the folks from Boston about that fund they have for excuse me, funeral expenses and some other expenses after an overdose death. We're going to have a little subcommittee work on that. So they're going to meet on the 15th of this month. I will send out the info about that. Thank you, Emily. QHSUA has volunteered their Zoom account, so it won't necessarily, as long as we don't have more than 3 committee members, it won't be an official meeting. So they can do a little bit of work in between and then report to us on the 27th. But I'll send out an email to the whole committee about that.
Yeah, I almost forgot about today, so.
Well,
I'm glad I
thank
checked my
you.
email.
I'm glad, well,
last
you
night.
know, and especially when it's not in the usual rhythm, normally we're meeting on Monday.
I was off today, but I'm like, you know what? I
Oh,
missed the
thank
last
you.
one. I'm just
Thank
gotta
you.
do it.
I appreciate that because the 4, especially in this situation with Honest Beginnings, because both Jill and Angela have to not be involved because they're on the board of directors. So cool. All right. I'm open to a motion to adjourn.
My second?
Second, got a motion and seconded. All those in favor of adjourning? All right, done. And it's about 1:20.
Your little ones might be interested in that.
Okay.
Red Ribbon Week.
And I think that's it.
Perfect.
Emily, give me a minute to, I'll deal with all this technology here and the recording, and then I'll give you a quick call.
Sounds good.
All right.
I got the junk
Bye.
flyers. We